Oh, wow. Wow.
Christina, are you stupid or are you deaf?
Christina! You idiot! You come to our house, you get my wife's name right! Christina!
Oh, shit. 20 miles.
Welcome to the Escape Podcast, where we talk about lots of nerdy things. We talk about entertainment, science fiction, comics, toys, all the good stuff. My name is Nick.
And I'm Adam.
And Adam, something really important happened the other night. The Oscars.
Yeah, I sure did.
I was watching, wasn't you? I was watching.
I actually didn't. I caught the latest the next morning. I was watching The Addams Family.
Oh, so then you know who won the best visual effects. Dune won the best visual effects.
I didn't know that.
The best production design, Dune. Well done, Dune.
I didn't know
Best
that either.
picture, Coda. Never heard of it. That was
Me
the big.
neither.
That was the big news, right?
No. As a matter of fact, it wasn't.
What happened? What happened?
Well,
Did something else happen?
Yeah, some pretty big news. A smart ass got hit by a A-lister.
Are we calling him an A-lister still?
Smacked right in the mouth. I didn't even know how to say what he was. I'm a fan of both of these guys.
Right.
And Chris Rock is a master smartass. In fact, okay, most of the time I would say nothing better than seeing a smartass get hit in the mouth. But because it's just those people out there. But Chris Rock, he's a comedian. Dude, I've seen that Frozen and his head going like this. He's still smiling.
I know.
He's like, out of the way. He's like, okay. First it was awkward. He's like, I just got smacked in the mouth by Will Smith. Oh my God. And then Will Smith, keep my wife's name out of your
Out of your effing mouth.
That wasn't it. That's not what bothered him. Because if you look at that, he laughed at the joke. It cut back to him. Then he was screaming or whatever. No, then he got up and hit him. And he snapped. He's been under some kind of pressure we don't know about. He just snapped.
Well,
Look, he's smiling.
I say you can tell and it's funny because as his hand rears back, he's still smiling.
Exactly.
And let's be honest, like on a scale of 1 to 10, the joke that he made on Jada was about a 1 as far as Chris Rock goes.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't even, it was more a comment on her hairstyle than it wasn't a rip on her because she has alopecia. It wasn't a rip on her in general. It was more a comment on her hair.
He was heckling the crowd.
Well, I was like, he was doing what comedians do. He was working the crowd. He was literally going, oh, bing, bang, boom. He ripped on, was it Javier Bardem and his wife, or before
Yes.
saying, by the time he got to them, it was seriously like, Will Smith's my boy. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go soft on him. And that was the softest softball of a joke that he could have done. And that was the response. And like you said, it's Will Smith. What's wrong? What is going so wrong in your life, buddy? That's the.
I got a couple theories. I got a theory. I mean, I really do. I always have. I don't know if this is an appropriate place to talk about it. I'll just say this. I don't think she treats him very well.
Well, no, that they came out a couple years ago where, look, I'm sure Will's had improprieties in the marriage. That's the thing. But she took that man on national television a few years ago and said, yeah, I hooked up with this guy, or I quote unquote got in an entanglement, which you got your vagina entangled with a penis. That wasn't Will Smith.
And
the poor guy became a meme afterwards for it.
And no disrespect to the dead or anything like that, but she's on record. Tupac was the number one of her life, and that kind of stuff. And they went to high school together, and she's, crying. And I don't know. It just seems like Will Smith is a giant number 2 compared to everything else that's Jada.
Oh,
To me.
100%. And that's the thing. Hey, Jada, you have not been relevant since seriously the 90s.
Dude.
Like not even and the funny thing is, and I know there's more history between Chris Rock and Jada because I guess he ripped her because I guess back in 2016 she quote unquote boycotted the Oscars because there was not enough diversity or inclusion, whatever you want to call it. And Chris Rock's response was like, that's like saying I turned down an invitation into Rihanna's panties because, well, frankly, I wasn't invited. You know, it's like, look, Jada, you weren't invited. You had nothing going on. You've been riding the coattails of Will Smith for the last however long you've been married to him.
And Will Smith deserved that Oscar.
Oh, I'm sure he did. And that's the stupid thing. People are all saying, oh, he should have his Oscar taken away. I was like, no, the guy, whatever you want to say about Serena Venus's dad, you know, Richard Williams, whatever you want to say, there's way more to that story than that movie covered, for sure. But Will Smith put on a Will Smith performance, and it was Oscar worthy. So
you know what? I'm okay if you take Will Smith's Oscar away. If you take Harvey Weinstein's Oscar away, if you take Mel Gibson's Oscar away, you're gonna take his Oscar away for slapping. And he didn't even. I mean, he hurt Chris Rock, even though he's still smiling through the slap. But like Harvey Weinstein hurt some people, and Mel Gibson went nuts, you know, on his wife and insulted an entire culture of people. I mean, he slapped a guy.
Well, and it's funny because I was obviously everybody's talking about this. So, and honestly, I thought one of the best responses was Jocko's response. Jocko had a response where he's like, look, man, in the SEAL teams or just as men in general, this is how you put someone back in their place. Someone gets out of their place, they start, you know, and hey, people want to talk about toxic masculinity, all that. F all that. There's actually this thing that's called, hey, sometimes you say things to the wrong people, and you know what deserves to happen to you? You don't need to get your teeth knocked out, but you need to get the piss slapped out of you on occasion.
Sure. I agree.
But at the end of the day, this wasn't one of them. Like I said, this was a 1, maybe a 2 on the roast meter of, you know, and honestly, I don't even think Chris Rock, it even registered to him that was even a roast at all.
Yeah.
So,
no, he was shocked.
I
just got slapped by women.
Well, that's the funny thing. Everybody's like, how you don't let a man slap you out, slap you like that. It's like, 1, it's the Oscars. Wasn't expecting that to happen. 2, Will's, there's history there where they have a friendship and all. He thinks, oh, what's going to happen? He did not think he was going to full on slap him.
Right. Well, there's another way too that Robert Meyer Burnett brought up. He's on the John Campea podcast. They're both SAG workers. They're both SAG members.
Yeah.
And
well, that was the thing. His big apology wasn't to Chris Rock; it was to the Academy.
Well, even though the Academy, the Oscar Academy, is 2 different things, and the SAG SAG's a union, the Screen Actors Guild. Therefore, Chris Rock was there. He was on a SAG job, getting paid. He got assaulted at work by another SAG member.
Well, and that was another thing. Chris Rock isn't gonna, file charges. Be like, dude, if anybody comes out of this smelling the best, it's got to be Chris Rock because 1, he didn't try and retaliate in any way, shape, or fashion. All he simply said was like, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me on national television, and then he actually did something he didn't have to do. He apologized the very next day. And that's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to wait a little bit before we talked about this, because I know you're like, well, let's talk about it. It's like, okay, but I kind of wanted to let it kind of see if there's any fallout. And
I want to address why I wanted to talk about it so bad later.
Oh, it's fine. Go ahead.
You first. No, go ahead.
Okay.
You first.
But then Chris Rock comes out and apologizes. I don't think that was even apology worthy. that was just hey, that was strictly an overreaction by Will Smith. And let's call it what it was. That was an overreaction. And not to mention, I think a lot of people, even Chris Rock afterwards probably said, "Oh, buddy, if you did that after something that's so soft, what's going on with you?"
Yeah,
That
you
type.
okay?
I think a lot of people are going like, "Oh, Will Smith, like, what that was the reaction." Like, and because let's be honest, that's weak sauce stuff. That's incredibly weak. Because I've had the conversation with my wife because, okay, so, and he tried to say, well, Chris made fun of her alopecia. No, he did not.
He
didn't
didn't.
even know. He didn't know she had alopecia. And so that's when my wife, me and my wife were talking, we've got people with alopecia in our family, and people are like, "Oh, alopecia, you just lost your hair. I'm losing my hair." Alopecia is not male pattern baldness. That's not what it is. It's an autoimmune disorder where the body literally is attacking the hair and makes it fall out. That's what it is. And it can be brought on by several different things. It can be brought on by stress. It can be brought on by a multitude of things. And for a lot of people that have it, it's embarrassing because, like I said, we have people in our family and that have it, and she's just like, if anybody says, my wife, this is my wife speaking, if anybody says anything about that, I'm going after her. I was like, I got it. But if Chris Rock, because my wife's got red hair, said, "Oh, hey, Pippi Longstocking," whatever, I was like, you better suck that up. I'm not going after a man because he calls you Pippi Longstocking or anything like that. I was like, and if I did have an issue, like let's say we did go to a comedy show and there is something. Hey, Danny, thanks for joining us.
What's up, Danny?
And if we did have an issue, you know what I do? I would go afterwards. I'd go up to a man afterwards and say, "Hey, man, not cool, and I'd really like you to apologize to my wife." That's how a man should have done it.
Yeah, I agree. And then again, there was more of a deep-rooted issue here. Addressing why I wanted to talk about it so bad and why I got excited. Listen, we all got our dark side. We all do. I was just happy that this happened at the Oscars.
Oh, yeah. Well, and who's also happy but that this happened at the Oscars? The Academy. It's the only reason people are even talking about this damn thing.
Oh, I know. And it also, because we've talked about this before, how, all these quote unquote Oscar caliber movies and how they've kind of been woke and this and that. To tell you the truth, Oscar caliber movies used to be blockbusters. They used to be blockbusters. Best Picture was Forrest Gump. I believe that Apollo 13 was in the runnings for one of them. That won it.
Let's do it real quick. Let's pull up the list of movies that are up for Best Picture and tell me how many you've seen. All right, the winner, Coda.
No.
Never heard of it.
Never even heard of it.
Belfast.
Never heard of it.
Don't Look Up. That one I have seen. That one, that's one on Netflix. I do know about that one.
Uh-huh.
Drive My Car.
Nope.
Dune.
Yeah.
That one. Hey. King Richard. Heard of that one?
I heard of that one.
Licorice Pizza.
I've heard of that. That was up for Best Picture?
Yep.
Oh, I ought to see it.
Yeah. Nightmare Alley, which we tried to watch. Didn't like it. The Power of the Dog. Never heard of it.
Mm-mm.
West Side Story. Meh. That never should have even been on the list.
By such folks as by the director of E.T., Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. So 75% of the list never even heard of the movies, let alone been like, "Oh, I'm gonna go watch this." Because there was a point in my movie going career where I'm like, "Oh, this was up for Oscar, for Best Picture. I should check it out." Now that I see these movies, there's zero interest in any of these movies.
I think Slumdog Millionaire was the last real one of the last, if not one of the last, real genuine winners before they were because it came out of nowhere, and I think that's when they started thinking Oh well, every year we got to have something that touches on the race thing or the woke thing. Because if you, I mean, just if you got a chance before this broadcast is over, just out of curiosity, what were the nominees for the 1998 Oscars? And I just pulled that out of my ass.
Give me 10 seconds. I will.
All right.
1998. So going back, just about just over 20 years. So, so let's go. Did you want movies or did you want
just what was nominated for Best Picture?
Best Picture.
Best Picture nominees, 1998.
Well, and here's the thing: the list is much shorter. So,
okay,
this is a list. So there's L.A. Confidential. Seen it, heard of it, liked it. Good Will Hunting, loved it. The Full Monty, never actually saw it, but I heard good things because I didn't care about watching a movie about dudes stripping. As Good as It Gets, saw it, fine. 1998, yeah. Well, the winner is Titanic. So
all of these movies had compelling stories. They had good actors in it, and they all deserve to be where they are. The ones that you talked about, maybe they are good, but they're not. They're not like right there. They're not the money makers. You know what I'm trying to say? They're not the ones they're not the ones that put people in seats. And they're trying to look, man, As Good as It Gets wasn't trying to tell you anything except for to give you some entertainment and to maybe shed a little bit of light on a little bit of mental illness. Well, but that's about it.
And tell a story. There's no preaching, there's none of that.
Yeah, other than that, there's preaching and there's a message in all this shit today, and it's disgusting.
No, it's you don't. It's even gotten so far where it's even bled its way into comic books, into damn near everything you watch today. It's we have to push an agenda. We have, you can't just tell things. This is a platform now. You have to be an activist. I was like, I work for a living. You know what I want for my entertainment? To be entertained.
Right. So do I. So, yeah, I mean, I think the Oscars deserved it. Not Chris Rock. I think the Oscars deserved it.
And Danny says, I still think the whole thing was a work, which there's a lot of people who still think that it's the most relevant those two have been in years. I'll say this. It's the most relevant those two have been in years and the Oscars. So it's a trifecta of irrelevancy.
Yeah, that's true. That's
true. Not you're not wrong, but it's just also one of those things where if it is a work, it's like, I don't know. Chris Rock really had to want that one.
Yeah, I mean, he hit him good.
Well, and the only reason I even lean that way is because Will Smith's a big man. He's not little. He played Ali. And I'm thinking that guy knows how to hit someone if he really wants to do some devastating damage.
He does. He really does. And I'm still a Will Smith fan. I'm still a Chris Rock fan. Yeah, well, there's no reason not to be.
And here's the thing. I don't think many people realize at one point, Chris Rock was the top comedian on the planet. As there was that window where Carlin was fading, and just before Dave Chappelle, there was a window there where Chris Rock put out two of the best specials on HBO, Bigger and Blacker, and I forget the other one, but to this day, it's still some of the best comedy I've, as far as HBO specials. It's still two of the best HBO specials. I'll put it up there with Ever. So
with what?
Ever. In the best.
Ever. Like you're saying Ever.
Yeah.
Like I never saw. Who's that? Who's Ever? Is that like better than Ezra?
Speaking of Ezra.
Yeah, like what was that back in 1995, 96? Better Than Ezra was number 1 on all the top 40 charts. You know who was number 2?
What's that?
Ezra.
Oh.
That's a Norm Macdonald joke. Love you, Norm. Rest in peace. My favorite comedian. One of. Nah, my favorite.
So his Bigger and Blacker special in 1999
Haterade.
and Never Scared in 2004. Two of the best, two of the I'm not gonna say the best, two of my favorite HBO specials. That's why I always like Chris Rock because he's always one of those guys who actually has something to say. So
He's got something to say now.
the poor guy, and unfortunately, it's been my bad. It's like, Chris, don't back down, please. You did nothing wrong in this scenario. You've come out looking like a stud this entire way.
He's gonna have a bit though written about this. There I am on stage. He's gonna be screaming. You know, I'm at the Oscars. Will Smith slaps the shit out of me.
Right.
You know, whatever.
You all saw it. I was a meme.
I mean, it's gonna be funny. It's like a reason to live for me. So yeah. I gotta talk about one more thing with this because I wish I wouldn't have seen this.
Okay.
So guess who stood up on their soapbox today?
Was it Jada Pinkett Smith?
Nope, worse.
Oh,
Jim Carrey.
I did hear that he smashed him.
Yeah, he said this morning I would have sued. What did he say? I would have sued Will Smith for $200 million because this is forever going to be on, video forever, the whole world to see. You know, I can't stand that guy.
That's the unfortunate thing where you actually get to see your heroes. You know, after a while, you see all their true colors. Be like, Jim Carrey, you're a bit of a nut.
Yeah, I mean, he got taken through the ringer too. One of his girlfriends had committed suicide, and the family said that he had pushed her into it, and there was a whole investigation and all that kind of stuff. So he kind of cracked after that. But it's things like he's saying everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and we're certainly entitled to ours. We're stating it right now, but it reminds me of when Kick-Ass 2 was coming out and how he totally just turned around and shit on the movie and told people not to go see it. He was in it. He was embarrassed that he made it because of all the guns and the gun violence in it. And he said it sends a message to shoot up kids at schools and stuff like that. I'm paraphrasing, but it's like, come on, Jim Carrey, give it a rest. You're not even relevant.
Well, that's the thing. Anytime there's anything that's quote unquote big news, people come out of the woodworks with, their opinions, including us. Hey, like and subscribe if you will, please.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, and that's the thing too, because I try and stay off Twitter. The only reason I go on Twitter is to kind of see if there's any news stories or anything we need to be talking about. And of course, everybody and their grandmothers posting, this is a disgrace. It's this, that, or the other, blah, 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 blah. And it's like,
Matt Damon.
Yeah, it's okay. Like, this is I tell my kids not to do this, blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay, tell your kids to never make a mistake. And for the love of God, hope that their mistake is big enough to be talked about around the world.
Well, yeah. Now there is something in here because we live in idiot land.
Idiocracy.
Yeah. That
can hear that
was brought up. There's a lot of comedians out there thinking about, well, what's it going to be like for me to go on stage now if I insult somebody in the crowd or whatever? Do I got to worry about somebody standing up and punching me in the face? Will Smith just gave a license to people to do that, and to an extent, he's right. They're right. He did because we live in America, and some people don't think we live in America. Some people think we live in America.
Well, and I don't know if I'll go that far. I don't know who necessarily said that, but I can't think of anybody. I haven't seen anybody said, yeah, Will Smith, that's the way to do it. I've heard people trying to say, well, he needs to stick up for Jada, blah, 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 blah. everybody remember he was initially laughing with everybody else, and it
Until his
wasn't
wife got mad at him.
until he looked over at Jada and he said, "Oh shit, I gotta do something." And then that's, hey, when you're in a toxic relationship with someone, you got to do crap that you don't want to do. And how many times I've had the situation myself where, hey, the wife or whoever starts running their mouth, and next thing you know, I got to step in and say, "Hey, let's just, everybody shut up."
Right.
There have been times where I had to look at my wife and be like, "You need to stop now, and you need to, whoever you're talking to, you need to go over there." But yeah, it's the typical, women writing checks that the men's butt has to cash. So
Yeah, and it was one of the he used to host Talk Soup. That's who said that. I can't remember. No, well, can't remember his name.
okay.
Moving on.
So
Yeah.
all right.
What else do you got there? Moon Knight's.
We're done with this topic. So let's actually move on here. So, Ezra Miller.
Yay!
Ezra Miller. Wait, I've got sound effects. Let me do the sound effect. So yeah, Ezra Miller went Ezra Miller again.
He's
So
gonna go to jail.
that'd be nice.
Yay! No, sorry. Yeah, well, I think he should get the full punishment because somebody's got to punish him.
There we go.
That's right. He needs to be at least like nobody talks about the other crime he's committed, and that was accepting the role as the Flash.
Yeah, so this is obviously from Bounding in the Comics. The Flash and Fantastic Beasts actor Ezra Miller arrested in Hawaii for disorderly conduct and harassment. You would think after all these years, you don't mess around in Hawaii. Hawaii I'm not going to say hates, but they hammer actors and actresses over there when they mess up.
Yeah.
You know how many actors and actresses got DUIs on the cast of Lost?
Really?
Like, oh yeah. Michelle Rodriguez, I know, was one. I think what's his name? Was it Matthew Fox? I think he might have gotten one, but I just know, like, dude, you do not play around in Hawaii. So but here's the harsh treatment you get. So the Hawaii Police Department describes 29-year-old actor as alleged disorderly bar patron who police determined was agitated, unruly while other patrons sang karaoke at the bar. He's that guy at the karaoke bar. According to the report, Miller had begun yelling obscenities, then grabbed the microphone from a 23-year-old woman singing karaoke. Later, during the incident, he lunged at a 32-year-old man playing darts. He sounds like a freaking kid who can't handle his alcohol.
Yeah, he likes to start shit. He gets...
Well, it's the same guy who said he was going to go after the KKK. Okay, buddy.
Yeah, he had to be high that day.
Yeah, the bar owners reportedly tried to calm Ezra down, but to no avail, which led to the police being called to the scene. Miller was arrested and later released on $500 bails. Wow, way to really put it to him, guys. Miller's reps have yet to comment on the incident. So, look, he's a freaking lush. He can't control his alcohol, basically.
Look at that hair right there. I hope that Kevin Feige casts him as Wolverine.
Do you want me to be done with everything Disney? Because I will. I'll do it. I'll stop right now.
There's just some Marvel fans I'd like to see getting really disappointed. That's all. See? Now everybody's saying, oh my God, we just got metaphorically slapped like on stage by Adam Smith. Slapped the shit out of me.
That reminds me of another thing, but we're not going to talk about it here. But yeah, so I'd really like for this to be the determining factor where they just say, DC just goes, dude, we're done with you. You're a freaking handful. You already choked a woman. You are on, your Instagram threatening the KKK. Can we just be done with this moron, please? That'd be great.
You know, if it was Disney, they'd be done with him. It'd be done with him real fast. If it was, but you know, like I'd love to say, Warner Brothers has never heard a bad idea that they didn't like. So,
well, yeah, he shouldn't have been cast in the first place. That doofus.
But I will say, in the Snyder Cut, just to defend it a little bit, he was better. His character was written better in the Snyder Cut than in the Whedon, in the Justice League.
He still runs like a moron, though.
Right.
That's the thing. It's like, run like a moron. You run like a Nancy.
He was in an episode of The Flash.
I do remember that now.
Yeah. I told Victor this was possible.
So, let's say woke activists blame Will Smith slapping Chris Rock on white supremacy. Of course they do. Why wouldn't they? I hate this world sometimes.
Wait, what? White supremacy.
All right, yeah, let's pull it up real quick. So,
how does that work in any of this?
Let's see the rationale today.
You ever seen The Big Lebowski?
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with Vietnam, Walter.
All right, so this article, still on Bounding in the Comics by Jacob Smith. It was only a matter of time before a black actor slapping a black comedian would be blamed on white people. It took less than 48 hours.
Oh, that's what they're talking about.
By now, everyone knows what happened. Yada, yada, yada. Blah, 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 blah. While sane and rational people have discussed the ramifications that this incident has on the art of stand-up comedy and state of free speech in general, a series of woke culture writers are coming out of the woodwork to blame the incident on systematic racism and inequality. According to them, the biggest victim of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock was black women. Strap in, this is going to get bumpy. So let's start with Teo Burrow. I don't know if I said that correct at all. A self-described culture writer who recently wrote an opinion piece for The Guardian entitled White Outrage about Will Smith's slap is rooted in anti-blackness. It's inequality in plain sight. In the piece, she talks about how she is bothered by the downright racist reaction of white people who are attacking Will Smith for his actions. In order to make her argument, Burrow cites the comments made by two Jewish celebrities, producer Judd Apatow and radio host Howard Stern, as the basis of her case. Apatow declared in a deleted tweet that Smith's actions were pure out-of-control rage and violence. Not totally wrong. Then Stern later chimed in on his radio show comparing Smith's actions to former President Donald Trump, calling them the same person. Holy
ouch!
Shit.
That's a bit of a leap.
Howard.
All right, come on, wait. Apatow, okay, I agree with you. He was in a rage. He was raged out. He was mad, and it was uncalled for. But Colin and Donald saying that he and Donald Trump are alike, that's a bit of a leap.
A tad of a stretch. So, in Barrow's mind, Will Smith is just a black man who is defending his black wife, and she believes that the outrage is not warranted. Then you're a moron. I mean, okay, so yeah.
Why can't he just be a man defending his wife?
Well, and that's the funny thing. I thought this would be called toxic masculinity all over the place, but apparently I don't know what I'm talking about. Whatever. Which is not the first time.
Okay. Moon Knight's tomorrow.
Yeah, so well, there was one other stupid thing I wanted to talk about. So
okay.
Just speaking because I just want to get the nonsense out of the way. So Shang-Chi Star is not signing any Shang-Chi comics. He refuses to sign any Shang-Chi comics because they are problematic. So,
well, you know what though? That's the real reason he's not. He's saying this because no one wants his signature on their books.
Well, that's the other thing. They showed his Comic-Con prices there, and just I don't know, man. The rates some of these guys charge are pretty astronomical. Like, I think for his rates right now, it'd be more than more than like William Shatner, and Shat's like, you know,
A
the
legend.
goat.
Dude, what the hell is he even doing at a Comic-Con? I thought he was supposed to be like, you know, the next big deal. Isn't he like too important to be at Comic-Con? Or is he going to San Diego? Is that what it is?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's doing a circuit because I know, and that's the other thing that we could bring up. So Gina Carano's jumping on the circuit too, but so and a lot of people are pissed about that. But it's just like, and it's
Why?
funny, dude. I don't know. I do not know.
I will back Disney on firing her just based on this. If you have the freedom of speech, but they also have the freedom to separate themselves with someone that they don't feel represents them well. I understand that. Do I think she should have got fired? I don't. But why would people not want her on the? I want her on the circuit. I think she's awesome.
Because here's the dirty little secret of, you know, the quote unquote cancel culture. It's not that they don't want you to have that job anymore.
I know.
They don't want you to have any jobs ever again. They'd rather have you working at McDonald's or some other fast food place. Not saying working fast food's bad, but you know, it's not considered a prestigious position. They'd rather have you, you know, nickel and diming, you know, and struggling the rest of your life because let's be honest, people are a-holes.
Anyways, love you, Gina Carano.
Yeah, Gina Carano, please come to Motor City Casino, or not casino. I don't go there. Motor City Comic Con or somewhere close because I will travel to come meet you.
Yeah, so you can come to my place.
If that's what you want to do too, that's fine.
Yeah, Gina Carano, you're invited.
I say once again, I'm gonna put that up with the Chris Rock Rihanna line. You're invited, but you know, probably not gonna come, so that's fine.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, so I finally found the article that I was looking for just as we're done talking about it. So typical. So now let's scroll back up to the top here. All righty. What were you gonna say?
Well, let's probably save that for what we're watching, huh?
Probably so.
Not really. I saw 54 for the first time.
54, which
Studio 54 came out in like 1996.
Oh, yeah. With
Nev
Mike
Campbell.
Myers.
Yeah. I still like Nev Campbell. I like her a lot.
Our friends that we know, Josh and Eileen, they just met Nev Campbell.
So, I saw that. Where did they see her at?
It looked like it.
Like a horror convention or something?
Yeah, like a horror con. I don't know where it was at, but
yeah, I saw that on the old Instagrams today.
Yeah, the old grams. So
that's
all right.
Cool.
Yeah. It was big enough where they just pulled Nev Campbell. I'm like, oh, Nev Campbell. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, and Ron Perlman did a video. I was like, Ron Perlman, please stop talking. Please stop doing things.
Hey, Ted Danson looking Hellboy, shut up.
Right. Oh, here's one I want to talk about. Okay, so sticking with bounding into comics. So it looks like the She-Hulk show doesn't look like it's shaping up very, very good.
Why not?
So title from Spencer Basuli. Rumor Marvel's Disney Plus She-Hulk series reportedly not shaping up to be very good. So multiple sources close to the production of Marvel's upcoming She-Hulk series have reportedly indicated that upcoming Tatiana Maslany-led Disney Plus debut of the Jade Giantess is not shaping up very good. Words of the skepticism towards She-Hulk's quality held by some of the production's crew members was brought to light by Collider senior film reporter Jeff Snyder during the March 24th episode of The Hot Mic. The YouTube show, hosted by himself, noted film critic John Rocha. Turning to the topic of the upcoming series, Rocco began, I'm seeing some reports being around the internet over the last couple of days here that there are rumors that Tatiana Maslany might be replacing Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk in in the MCU as She-Hulk, and they're basing this on the logo that was released by Disney Plus, where that kind of division, not a dash, a division between the word she and the word Hulk. Come on, let's get to the point here, guys.
Okay. All right.
And also some people, hold on, let me finish this real quick. And some people speculating that they're moving on from almost all the original Avengers, aside from maybe Thor, blah, blah, blah. And Hulk's going to be lost in the Planet Hulk storyline, and they're going to need a Hulk in the MCU, and that Tatiana Maslany might be the one sliding in to take that role. So, sorry, go ahead.
There's no official announcement that anybody is going to replace anybody. And how convenient that they show Haley Steinfeld and Jeremy Renner. And I think that all of that is the rumor mill. I think you would have to be absolutely fucking fucked in the head to take all of your sidekicks and all of that and say, these are your new Avengers, and not have any and not have any presence of the old ones around. It just doesn't work. It's like Batman Beyond. Okay, nobody gives a shit about Batman Beyond. Like I do, you do, and it's awesome. But you're not going to get a Batman Beyond movie without a Bruce Wayne in it. Not right, not and you're not going to get a successful Batman Beyond franchise where maybe Bruce Wayne dies or whatever. You're not going to get that without him in it. And we're certainly, I think the best case scenario is that they might be setting up for not Marvel Phase 4. Gosh, that's stuck in my head. I think that what they might be setting up for is like East Coast, West Coast Avengers. Well, let's not forget these are all television shows too. There's still that stigma there of, TV versus, film. It's easier to transition nowadays, I will admit that, but I mean, it's still not the thing to do. I mean, look at the fellas from, Supernatural. They don't have any big movies coming out right now, but they are in other TV shows. You know what I mean? They're in movies here and there. So I don't know. I think that a lot of this is kind of some paranoia, but then again, I've been wrong before, and I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I mean?
I think in a sane man's world, that's a sane thought. We are unfortunately not in sane times. We are in, and I think we were talking about before, we are in times where everything is looked at as a platform, and you must push what the quote unquote message is or what the agenda is. And a lot of the agenda is, hey, girls can do everything better than guys. And, and let's be honest with it. Basically, if you're a straight white male, you're almost
the devil.
Basically, almost the devil, and you're pretty much being told, shut up and sit down.
You've had your time.
Yes, you've gotten us this far, and now it's time for us to take over and be like,
damn,
okay.
You got us this far. We got you the wheel, man.
It's been going pretty okay sometimes. So hasn't always been a bed of roses, but anyway. So, however, adding to the caveat to his prediction, Snyder then volunteered. I will say that this is something I've heard more than once. The She-Hulk series is not shaping up to be very good. I've heard not good things behind the scenes. I've asked about whether it's Moon Knight or Miss Marvel or Secret Invasion or any of these things. They're always like, She-Hulk is the one that could be a problem. He elaborated. Now, what does that mean? That one could be a problem? Well, yeah, anything could be good or it could be crap, especially with things nowadays where, you got people saying, hey, that's crappy. And then you're being told, no, it's good. Be like, no, the fans are saying it's shit. Stop telling us it's good.
You also got it's got one thing like against it too. Like up until now, there hasn't been any big time Phase 4 movies lately. The next one coming out is Spider-Man No Way Home, but
Yeah, but that's not in the fold of Phase 4 as much as people want to claim it to be.
Right, but then you got Doctor Strange coming up. They've launched these TV shows predicated on the "We're Marvel, trust us."
Well, yeah, that's the thing too. It's the hey,
And
trust old Uncle Marvel here.
problem is like that. Okay, we trusted you for 4 shows, and for the most part, you've delivered. And looks like I'm sorry, but Moon Knight, that sells itself. I mean, if you screw that up, shame on you guys. But She-Hulk, well, yeah, it would be the hardest one because She-Hulk was the easiest one to take in the comic books. Was it Gail Simone who wrote She-Hulk? I can't remember. I think it was Amanda Connor. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It matters, but in my point, it doesn't. So they said, hey, I got an idea. Let's make her a lawyer, and she's She-Hulk all the time. So she's litigating in a courtroom as a tall Hulk. That works on a page. That works on a...
She-Hulk's always been a niche character. Either you're a Hulk fan or you're not. And then you're like, well, then are you a She-Hulk fan? And I'm like, I'm not going to lie. I'm a Hulk fan. I never picked up a She-Hulk book in my life.
Right. I haven't read the She-Hulk stuff. I just know about them. Yeah. Doesn't it annoy you that every main character has a family? Like there's the Bat family, there's the Super family, there's this family. Wonder Woman's the only one still on her own.
Well, and
Thor.
Okay. Well, we'll touch on that. I want to finish this article real quick. We'll come right back to that. Make sure I come back to that. So,
sure.
Push for clarification. Roke said, but you're not hearing the people who have seen it, and it's terrible. Snyder replied. So that's kind of the thing. So, you hear, how many times have you heard a production's in trouble, and then they come, and then by the time you see the movie, it's like, what's the problem? Wasn't that the big thing with the Batman? You started hearing, oh man, they're doing all it's this production. Pattinson doesn't want to get in shape. He doesn't want to do this. Blah 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 blah. And then you see the movie, you're like, that was freaking epic, dude. What was the issue?
Yeah, Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson don't get along, and
yeah.
I actually heard a rumor that Zoe Kravitz was pregnant with his kid, and they got caught having sex on the Batmobile.
Yep. So I think a lot of things Marvel's get back to the article. I think a lot of Marvel things, honestly, were just like, well, this could really be stupid. We'll see. Opine Snyder. I'm sure people making Guardians of the Galaxy felt that way, right? Most of the time. Pull it out, but there will be a time where they won't. That's just the law of movie making. That's the law of numbers. So so he kind of even says, yeah, sometimes the stuff works. Sometimes and ultimately it's up to it's up to the fans to decide what's good and what's not. So
I'm gonna watch it. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, look, here's the thing. I'm intrigued. At the end of the day, gonna give it a shot. I gave Halo a shot. Am I gonna go back? Yeah. Said, hey, screw it. We talk about all the time on the show. Hey, go make your own opinion. Yeah, we're gonna give our opinion, but at the end of the day, go check it out. Please go check it out for yourself. There's a lot of YouTubers here that make a lot of YouTube videos that have a lot of opinions, and sometimes I agree with them, sometimes I don't. So that's why you really got to go check things out for yourself. That being said, Halo needs to get better. So
it's never been on my radar, so I didn't even occur to me to watch it.
Well, it's up my alley because it's science fiction. I'm not, I tried giving Game of Thrones a shot. I'm not a sandal and sword fantasy, I love history and I love all that stuff, but Lord of the Rings I like, but it's not my favorite. Game of Thrones never really was I'm all in on that one. It didn't do it for me. Science fiction, it's got to be Star Wars, impacting my life. Where science fiction, I'm all in for science fiction. I'm gonna give it a shot. Just because that's that's just my jam. That's just what I love the most. So, it is. Star Wars, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, Dune. And the older I get, the more sophisticated my sci-fi gets. I'm like, oh yeah, bring on the nerdiness.
Right. That's pretty cool. I'm glad you checked it out.
Yeah. So
can't say the same for myself because I just have such limited time. I'm gonna check out the stuff that it has nothing to do with Halo.
Well, and I've got memories of Halo was my son's favorite game. We played the game. I just played the game. I did not get into the stories that much, so that's why I can kind of zoom out a little bit and say that's okay. That's okay. Oh, they took his helmets off. Oh, his helmet's still off. His helmet's still off. There was a whole 20-minute last 15 minutes where I'm like, his helmet's off. His helmet's off, guys. Put the helmet back on. Put the hell because that's the thing with Spartan 117 is you don't see his face, which I get is a little bit of a it is what it is. Do they say, hey, we're just getting this out of the way? Yeah. Do I think they should have showed his face nearly as much as they should have? No, definitely not.
That bugged the shit out of me with the Flash too. You started seeing Grant Gustin more and more and more without the cowl on. Always cowl down scenes. I couldn't stand that.
Well, that was the damn thing with the Book of Boba Fett. Put the helmet on, Boba Fett. Stop walking around town without your helmet on.
And feeding people and being a good guy. Hey, look, that ended. That season of I'm gonna put it to you like this. I was thinking about this the other day. That season of the Book of Boba Fett had ended, and you know what? Boba Fett's a good guy now.
They ruined
it. Yep. I mean, it's right up there with Greedo firing first.
Yeah. Well, here, let's take one of the most badass characters that you got besides Darth Vader. Oh, he's a good guy now. Well,
hey. There's room to make Vader a good guy, too. You'll see.
Oh, they brought him back. Then Luke redeemed him at the end, so now he's a good guy. Well, show him killing kids again. That makes me happy.
They're going to add some footage to the original trilogy to show you how good he really was. He was just misunderstood.
Well, and that's one of the things that they did kind of with Darth Maul, where they kept bringing Darth Maul back in the animated series, and ultimately him and Obi-Wan kind of had a moment, where they had a battle on Tatooine, where the final duel, and he basically Darth Maul realizes who Obi-Wan's protecting, and they have a duel. Obviously, Obi-Wan wins the duel, and as he's dying, Obi-Wan cradles him, and he's just is he the one from the prophecy? And he's like, yes, and it was a really cool scene, but they kind of
Luke.
Yeah, so it's actually a short video. You can just pop it up on the old YouTubes. It's a really cool scene, but man, they just kept bringing them all back and back, and eventually there's this kind of heartwarming scene. I was like, couldn't he spit in Obi-Wan's eye for last one last FU to him, because he hated him so much, but also I guess he respected him so much.
Well, take it back to what George Lucas did with Greedo firing first. Let me know if you could picture this. The younglings attacked first.
Oh, they're really just truant kids. They're little badass kids, and they had it coming. Let's
Master
change
Skywalker?
it. Master Skywalker, I'm gonna
Fuck
rob
you.
you. Yeah. You got any money?
Money. We crave adventure and excitement, you little bitch.
Think you're so tough, huh? So yeah, and that's the other thing. Okay, so let's pull this real quick. So got a Halo article. So, hey,
Is that the A-Team?
yeah. Sorry, I was like, I get songs stuck in my head. I was like, I don't know what this is, but hey, this is what Spartan 117 looks like. So,
Isn't that like Vin Diesel's little brother, the ugly one that didn't make it?
the Ford Diesel. Pablo Schreiber, the man behind the helmet of Master Chief and Paramount Plus's live action of Halo, has attempted to reassure fans skeptical towards the adaptation's take on the Bungie-created sci-fi series, but making it clear that this is a new experience in a world that you love so much and have loved for so long. So, and one of the things I'll say, I mean, what the hell is this stupid picture? Get out of here.
I thought that was like they were making fun of it.
So I mean, these look great. The outfits, the Spartan armor, they look fantastic. And they do actually, excuse me, they gave you a little bit of that gameplay Doom thing. And people are like, it's not enough. I was like, you can't have a whole series where you are looking out a Spartan's helmet. Sorry, it's not how TV works. So, but I think the outfits look fantastic.
Yeah, they look great. TV's
And,
come a long way.
And I'll say this, and background on Adam and I, we went to a broadcast school where we went was kind of the transition from really the full transition from analog to digital. And as soon as everything became digital, working on things became so much easier. And especially now we're talking 20 years later, how far like you barely even have hard media anymore. Where and there's so many different programs, so you've got so many production houses where a lot of small production houses can pull off amazing looking stuff. So but from the article, and this is a new experience in a world you love so much and love for so long, he added, it's an opportunity to put down the controller. Instead of being a co-owner or creator of this experience, you now get to sit back on the couch and watch the experience unfold. So unfortunately, the fans are speaking so far. They're not the biggest fans of the show so far, but I hate to be the give it a chance guy, but just like all the comic book guys have been doing for the last 20 years, sit back, a little subjectivity, it's not going to be like the video game. Sorry, guys. So it's not how it goes.
Yeah, and just because you and I have had a lot of experience in this, just talking to the fans out there, and not to criticize you guys or anything like that, but to comfort you. Unfortunately, we're the 1%. All of us diehards, we're the 1%, and they're trying to take this story and appeal to the people that just watch whatever, whenever, and who will watch the advertisement. So that's just the way it is, and it's the way it's always been. It's probably going to be the way it's always going to be. But try to enjoy it. Well, hey, listen, I had to enjoy Punisher with Dolph Lundgren. I had to enjoy that silly Captain America movie. We all have it pretty good in 2022 as far as like movies and stuff.
Yeah. Like I said, we're the 1%, but TV studios are going after the other 99. So as much as they can get of that group, and if they antagonize or alienate the 1%, unfortunately they're not that concerned. So
they're not.
That's why. I know, and kind of the same thing happened with the not Silent Hill, but the the last Resident Evil, like we went and saw with family, and big Resident Evil fans, and they're going, nope, this isn't the storyline, this is not the right person. That I was like, kind of throw up your hands, be like, welcome to my world of comic books and everything else that they've ruined over the last. Since Blade.
Since Blade.
I mean,
whoosh! Swish, kill the fish. They ruined Blade too. Blade 2 sucked.
Yeah.
They ruined Blade as well. Blade 2 sucked. That's what I tried to say.
Yeah. I mean, the only redeeming thing about Blade 3 was Jessica Biel. So
yeah. I liked Blade 3, but it probably doesn't hold up.
It's been a while, but
Oh my God.
that sticks out is Jessica Biel. So.
You know what does not hold up?
Jurassic Park.
At all.
We were watching some of the I've always been watching some of the Jurassic Park movies. I was like, well, especially on a 4K TV, we're watching 4K. I was like, that doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
The CG, almost OG CGI. Like, okay.
Would have been better off with a puppet there.
All right. So we do have Moon Knight coming out soon. When is that coming out, Adam?
Tomorrow.
Is that tomorrow? Okay. Okay. So are you gonna watch it? You're watching it, right?
For the show. No, I'm gonna watch it. I'm not gonna miss Moon Knight. I've wanted this for a long time.
Yeah. So I saw something.
Ever since my brother went to California back in the late 80s, early 90s and left his comic book collection with me. And I read some Moon Knight. And yeah, I think I have those comics.
Okay, so real quick. So from CBR, according to Brad Long, Moon Knight's reviews are almost all enthusiastically positive. So let's yeah, that's some good news for once.
Yeah.
All right. So the reviews for Moon Knight are slowly rolling in as many critics are enthusiastically praising the Marvel Cinematic Universe's latest installment, while the Fist of Khonshu may be on the more obscure Marvel characters to headline a Disney Plus series. The reviews for Moon Knight are hailing it as bold and different on the superhero formula, which, if you know anything about Moon Knight, that pretty much describes him to a T. So,
exactly.
CBR's Cass Clark praised the show's depiction of real-world violence, nothing that the story doesn't shy away from showing, otherworldly power, and the destruction it brings to humanity. Clark also states it's also too soon to know if Moon Knight is able to conclude its mystery in a satisfying manner. In design, concept, look, and feel all are thoroughly entertaining. So that's ultimately the trick, right? Yeah, you can have a cool looking character, but if the story sucks, everything else sucks. So
yeah. Well, I'll reckon that. I'll reckon that, right?
And
what's this over here? What's this Euphoria approved spoiler? Should be Damian Wayne.
Well, let's see. But let's give it 1 second. So
sorry, ADD folks.
Right. So it sounds like it's obviously got a mystery vibe to which I love mysteries. I love mystery thrillers, that whole thing. So I just hope that, like it says, hopefully they can conclude the mystery, because that's the thing. Like a lot of these critics, they don't sit down and watch the entire season. So when you get their their opinion, it's only based off of a few episodes.
Right.
It's really people like the YouTubers and all that who actually sit down, watch, and analyze the show to really get a true sense of what a show is. So.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, let's check this out. So,
yeah, what is this?
Euphoria proved spoiler should be Damian Wayne. Season 2 of Euphoria proved that a badass character who caused immense chaos in the show should be the Dark Robin, known as Damian Wayne.
What? Wait. Euphoria with Zendaya.
Zendaya, yeah.
Is a DC property?
I don't think so. I don't think that's what it's saying. But let's find out. So, season 2 of Euphoria continued to stir up arguments online over the best character as fans debated hard over the diverse array of misfits in the HBO series. Zendaya's Rue stood out for kicking her drug habit after a ton of drama. So happy you don't watch the show. Lexi also got a lot of love for putting on a school play that called out everyone on their crap. Once again, so happy I don't watch the show.
This sounds like right up my alley.
I say you have fun with that. Of course, there's Fez, the charming drug dealer who folks couldn't get enough of, especially as he's romantically smooth talking to Lexi, and would have been a happy ending. Had his den not been raided. Another person who really shot to prominence was Javon Walton's Ashtray, Fez's little adopted brother, who is as violent as ever. In order to protect the family's empire, he cut a truly sadistic, no-nonsense figure, providing a lot of evidence as to why the character would be a great candidate for Damian Wayne.
Oh, no, never put Damian Wayne in the movie. Never mind, I don't want to watch this. I just thought it was DC stuff. Damian Wayne doesn't exist. That's not real. None of the other Robins exist. Do Dick Grayson the right way, and then we can talk. But.
All right, so this is the kid. So, I mean, he's got the look if they ever do it, but I don't know. Like I said, you know what? They just literally started year 2 of Batman. Let's calm down on the what is this? The fourth Robin? Fifth Robin? Yeah. Let's just pump the brakes a little bit.
I mean, you got Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown, Tim Drake again, but same guy, and then that idiot.
So, alrighty.
I like Damian Wayne. No, I don't.
There are times when I like him. Other times I'm like, he's an a-hole.
Yeah, I'm over it. I like my Robin Dick Grayson or Tim Drake.
I would love to see. I'd love to see a Nightwing, a viable Nightwing, not the freaking. I don't want to bag too much on the Titans, but
it's got enough redeeming qualities that it's like.
Yeah, I mean they. I'll say this: they put in the effort. I'll say that. The guys that they got now put in the effort. So, oh my gosh! You don't follow the Critical Drinker, do you?
No.
Okay. So he had an interview with Neil Marshall. Neil Marshall is the guy who directed the last Hellboy movie. I don't know how you feel about the Hellboy movies.
I really liked it.
Them. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the new one better than the other ones.
You like the new one better than the other ones?
Yeah.
Okay. Because he had a very honest conversation with the Critical Drinker and basically said, hold on, let me pull it up real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, very open article where the guy's like, yeah. So right here, speaking with the Critical Drinker on his after-hour show, Marshall recounted that there was too much studio interference, which wasn't helped by the screenplay being so lackluster for the filmmaker. The experience was shit, he says with a laugh. It was the worst professional experience of my life.
Wonder why. I liked it.
I think it was just one of those things where, and Gary from Neurotics has a really good way of putting it. So they don't, hire directors on to get their vision. Directors nowadays are, especially for media or for Marvel properties, it seems like directors are more cast because they already kind of know which way they want to go with things. And he, Marshall really gets into it where, on the set, he'd tell his actors, hey, I want you to do this. I want you to do this. And then almost immediately a producer would, step in and say, we're doing this. So back to this article. So sold on the pitch from Lionsgate to make a dark horror version of Hellboy, Marshall quickly realized he was caught in a trap with a bad script that wasn't ever going to get better. You can't polish a turd, he quipped. Creative control was taken from him right away, and he was unhappy with the CG gore done in post-production. None of it was his idea, but some people still think he was leaving his mark on the film. So, quite to the contrary, Marshall swears that there is very little of himself and his trademarks in Hellboy, and he doesn't consider it part of his canon. So I think obviously more of the issue is, when you hire a director, that his job's to direct, and when you don't let him do so, obviously he feels like, he gets pissed off. So that's completely understandable. So, Hellboy script was one Marshall did not pen in a first for him. I won't make that mistake again. So he's used to, I'm gonna guess, more of the not the mega corporation side where, hey, he wrote it, he directed it, and he gets to tell his director, the actors what he wants them to do. Where this is not, that's not this. So, and he did mention that this is by far the biggest budget he's ever had, an estimated $50 million. And he was eager to get back in the feature films when he hadn't made one in a decade. So it's actually a really nice article, because sometimes you hear these stories, but it's nice to hear straight from the horse's mouth. Be like, hey, no, it was shit. It was a bad experience, the whole thing. So,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I know you don't like the name of his channel, but The Critical Drinker, he does a great job really breaking down movies.
Oh, I just never heard of him.
So, but yeah,
I didn't. No, it's not that I don't like the name of the channel. I just never heard of him.
No, that's fine. I apologize. I thought I had told you about him before, but he and that's the thing about Critical Drinker. So he's a writer, so he really goes deep on hey, this script is bad for. Here's the list. It's not just me going, I didn't like that one scene. It's here's why this didn't work. Here's why this didn't work. The writing was, too much exposition here. So I think that's a good place to start. Adam, let's do the what we're watching. So I know you were excited about. Tell people what you're watching.
Sure. I am watching. I got 2 episodes left. There's only 4 episodes to it. DMZ on HBO.
I wanted to check that out. I heard it's getting good reviews.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm enjoying it very much. For those of you who don't know, DMZ is an American comic book series written by Brian Wood with artwork by Wood and Riccardo Burcelli. Burcelli. The series is set in the near future where a second American Civil War has turned the island of Manhattan into a demilitarized zone. Caught between forces of the United States of America and, of course, the other America, the rebels, I guess you could say. I just lost my place in the article. Anyways, it opens up with Rosario Dawson. So do I. She's one of the. I think she might just be my favorite actress. Rosario Dawson trying to get her kid onto an evacuation bus from Manhattan, and they get separated. And so it's a story of how she's trying to find her son, and it does a time jump of like 7 years. And the things that she encounters when she returns back to Manhattan in the demilitarized zone, she really comes back to a different world, and what it could potentially be like. It's good. I highly recommend it. It's only 4 episodes. I watched the first 2 last weekend. I intend to finish it up this weekend.
And it is a DC. Is that based off a comic, or is it just a DC property?
It's based off a DC comic book. Let's see here. It's published by. It might be under It might have been like DC Vertigo back in the day.
I'm sorry, I got it right here. So it's based on the comic book series from Vertigo, written by Brian Wood. It lasted 72 issues from 2005 to 2012. So
you go, Vertigo, just like I said. And then Brian Burcelli. He's done some art we're familiar with. He's did some work for Marvel. He's done work for DC. So yeah.
So the top cast is obviously Rosario Dawson as Alma Ortega,
Yep.
Boone Lee as Wilson Lynn, Freddie Mayares as Skell. He looks familiar. What is he in?
Oh wow, it's weird to see him smiling.
What I know of. Jordan Preston Carter. Good God, I hate these freaking stupid things.
Pop up there.
Jordan Preston Carter as Odie Peerless, and Venus Ariel as Nico, and Benjamin Bratt as
Benjamin. Yeah, he's good at it. Really
Parco Delgado. And he's important because he's got a last name. So
yeah, he's really good at it. Really good at it.
It looks like they've got Brian Gal Guzman as Christian Ortega. I'm just trying to go through the characters that have two names. So there you go. But yeah, I was gonna try and knock out a episode or so. I did not get around to it. But if you say it's good, I'm gonna give it a shot. Try and get knocked out this week.
Yeah, really good. I think it's actually worth doing a review and a show on. To tell you the truth, gosh, it is like a breath of fresh air. It almost kind of like what The Walking Dead should have been, as far as like not ongoing. Like, I'm glad this is only 4 episodes. I'm glad it's got a story to tell and then it's done.
How many times have you been like, hey, this is a heavy story and I like it, but I don't, we're going to do this for 8 to 10 episodes. It's like, I like when it's like, dude, we got four episodes. Let's go. Let's freaking, let's crank through it.
Yeah. Let's tell the best story we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the opposite is what they did with the last season of The Expanse. Is like, we're just going to bumble around for 6 episodes. We don't know what the hell we're doing, how we're going to wrap up this last season. A-holes.
How did Godzilla get on the island? I don't know.
Yeah. he's there. How do you get, shut up.
How does this boat not sink with Godzilla standing there? I don't know.
Yeah. Why are you asking questions?
Yeah. Shut up.
Well, I was watching, like I said, I was watching Halo. I give it a shot. If you are all about Halo and the storylines and all that, probably not the show for you. But if you like a sci-fi, distant world, because you do get to see the Covenant, the aliens, there's a few story things where even I'm like, why would you do that?
Sure.
So, but overall, and that's the thing too, people were complaining about the look of the show. And like we were saying, for a quote unquote weekly TV show, I think it looks great. I was watching it in 4K. I didn't see too many things that, I'm one of the first ones to go, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. It sometimes drives my wife crazy because I'll sit there and do that throughout the entire, like, hey, why did you? And this is where the schooling, whatever. It's like, hey, why did you do that shot? Like, So, or oh, why'd you make that edit there?
Everything's choices.
Everything's artistic choices now.
Well, I mean, it is. It really is.
So, but yeah, so far I'm gonna give it a next one. We're gonna have to go week by week with it. How far I go without just throwing in the towel, we'll see. But one show, oh my gosh, I forgot how good this show was because it finally just came to a streaming service that I have, and that's the 4th season of Yellowstone. I know I'm behind, but oh my gosh, the show's so good.
Yeah,
I love this show, and you talk about having. It's one of the few shows where I can go, hey, lead female character, you are a badass, and I freaking love you. You're just so over the top badass. It's great, and that's Beth Dutton from Yellowstone. I just love everything about her character. I'm just like, oh, it's getting a little bit goofy with some of the over the top stuff, storyline wise, but golly, we were just watching an episode last night. I almost forgot how much I love this show. So, season 4 of Yellowstone, go check that show out. And not just season 4, you haven't seen it, go check out that show. It's freaking fantastic. So
Awesome. A lot of people rave about Yellowstone. A lot of people told me I got to watch it. So
you do.
I'll try.
So
I will try. I was just thinking about something. What if things get really, really bad, and like Will Smith has to go live in Bel Air?
that was the other joke too. Everybody's like, gets in a little fight. Next thing you know, gotta go live in Bel Air.
Yeah.
Which, and that's another thing too. Can you tell? You can just tell from that freaking moment. Be like, that ain't the kid from Philly anymore, man. That ain't the kid from Philly. That's a freaking Hollywood, chewed up and spit out freaking man right there. You don't know which side is up right now.
No, he doesn't. I mean, he's hurting. He's hurting.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I think most people are, instead of like, oh, buddy,
yeah. Well,
you're. It's like when Dave Chappelle said, because there was a story about, however many years ago, probably 20, 25 years ago, about Martin Lawrence, where Martin Lawrence had this big breakdown, and Dave Chappelle's just like, that's Hollywood, man. Because Martin Lawrence is not a mess around. He is not a weak-minded person at all. He's about as tough-minded, as grounded as you can get. And if that town can make Martin Lawrence do that, he's like, that's one of the reasons Dave Chappelle went to freaking, Africa or whatever after, walking away from $50 million at the Chappelle show. He's like, F you guys.
I love what he said in his latest comedies. Not Sticks and Stones, but the latest one, whatever, when he says,
right.
What did I do? I walked away from 50 million, got off the bus. Something like that. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not reading anything right now. I didn't get a chance to. I was super busy. You got anything that you're reading, Adam?
I actually picked up the where I left off the beginning of last winter. Well, we're still in winter technically. The end of last fall.
Second winter.
Yeah, second winter. The Tale of the Body Thief, fourth book in the Vampire Chronicles by Anne Rice. And it's pretty good at this point. Lestat is in a human body that's dying. He's sick. He's got fever. And while the other guy is in his body. And it's getting better. It's really got some nice fill. It's not, maybe as it goes along it gets better and better, but it's not like a grabber like Interview with a Vampire or The Vampire Lestat. And even Queen of the Damned took some powering through to get through it, but it seemed to get interesting a lot faster than this one has. But yeah.
I remember when, what was it, the girl with the dragon tattoo or whatever was popular, and I was talking to someone, they're like, yeah, that first 100 pages, it took a while. I was like, it takes 100 pages for a book to get good? I was like, I don't have that type of patience. I was like, you got to get me by like chapter 1 or 2. I was like, we're not going to sit here and just go like, well, we're just going to eat it for 100 pages. Be like, I ain't got time for that.
Yeah, don't quote me on this, but it was like either a couple hundred pages or something like that. I knew a buddy who tried to read Lord of the Rings and is like, they're still in the Shire. They're still walking.
Well, that's my son. So I'm a Star Wars guy. My wife's and her kids, Lord of the Rings. That's their jam. That's cool. Love the movies. I enjoy the movies, but then my son sat down and he's like, yeah, I tried to read them. He's like you said, he's like, you get a few hundred pages, he's like, they're still just walking. They haven't gone anywhere, and he's like, and the books are this thick, and it's like, holy jeez. I was like, yeah, I don't have, I'm a visual person, man. You gotta keep it moving for me. I'm a short attention span theater. It's gotta, You got to keep doing. You got to keep it
Yeah.
moving.
Exactly. Exactmundo.
But I did get some toys.
Did you now?
I sure did. Finally,
Woo!
I got my Thomas Wayne with a mask,
Yes, sir.
and this might be one of the best figures Todd's ever made. Plus,
it's one of the best.
You got these things.
Guns.
Hey. Yep. Yeah, these
Save
guys.
us, Discovery. Save us, Discovery.
Right. You got some guns, so it's just this figure is it's a 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
All right. And finally, I've been waiting since November. Remember when you mail those out in November? Remember that? You said on the website?
Ships in November.
Big air quotes. So I got my gunslinger spawn. Now I've got the regular gunslinger spawn, but this one's got a Gatling gun. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. It's still fantastic. And
God, I'm so close to buying that. I saw tons of them at Target.
Yeah, I say there's a ton of them. But I bought the 3-pack that's got Soul Crusher.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
You like that? Like that?
I digs it.
Starting to get into him a little bit in the comics, so he seems like a pretty badass character. You give me put a gas mask on pretty much any character, I'm gonna be intrigued because I'm a simpleton. So looks great, but man, dude, I've got so many damn toys at this point.
Yeah, I'm overflowing.
But here's the problem. It's just not the toys. Because here's the problem. This is the problem. I'm going to tell you the problem with being a collector who takes their stuff out of boxes. Now you got to display the shit. And you got to do it good. You can't just throw stuff on a table or something like that. No, you got to get shelving. You got to get a little RGB going. You got to get some shelving. You got to make a diorama.
Yes.
You can't just... Anyway. Dark Redeemer. The last part of the 3-pack that I ordered in November that said it was supposed to ship in November. It's almost April, Todd. But yeah, that's a nice figure.
It is, man. I was thinking the one that I picked up, I think I might just hang on to it if you're okay with that.
And that's a funny story because I was so frustrated with McFarlane Toys. Like I said, on the website, it literally says ships in November. To this day, my receipt says ships in November. And I'm just like, dude, and it's the frustrating thing about being a collector because you pre-order stuff and you start seeing it in the store and you're like, no, no. Because I saw a gunslinger, the Gatling gunslinger come out and I was like, dude, that's it. I'm going to cancel it, canceling. And then you said, oh, dude, I saw Dark Redeemer. You want me to grab it? I was like, yeah, because I'm canceling it. Well, guess what I didn't do?
You didn't cancel it and it showed up.
I didn't cancel it. And next thing I got an email. It's like, it's on the way. And I'm like, so, and then another thing. So it's not toy related. It's comic related, but I'm not reading it. I did, for the first time, I bought a graded comic.
What'd you get?
I got the first run of the first issue of Ninja Turtles last run.
Uh-oh.
So, and that's the thing. So,
where is it?
I'm so it's on the way. It's in the mail.
Okay.
I'm so late to the party. So I think it started in 2020. Now we're in 2022. I think it started late 2020. Yeah. There's been 6 different runs of that book, and I actually got to learn something when it comes to how to read a comic and know which edition you have. So in case you want to know if you've got the first printing of a book, it's got part of the SKU number on the back and it'll tell you. So actually, let me show you.
Your photo's frozen.
Okay, give me a second. All right. So on this one, this number right there. Now, for you guys who can't see, it's 00311. So the 3 means this is the third variant cover. I forget what the second one means, but that last one, that means it's a first edition. This is issue number 3 of the last. So my number 1, Last Ronin, the numbers are 00114, which means it's still the first cover, but it's the 4th run. It's a 4th edition of that.
So it's fourth printing.
Yep. Yeah, and there's so many different covers, and that's the thing. It's especially when it comes to graded stuff. It's like, holy moly! There's covers that are worth like thousands of dollars for this book. So I think it's a 9.6 or 9.4, but either way,
Woo!
I'm just
there. You are. Hey, show us at home the SKU again.
Okay.
Okay.
So this number is what you want to look at. It actually focuses. So it's
what's that say? 00 what?
Hold on 1 second.
Oh.
So I'm trying to do too much. All right. So you see the 00114 there?
Yes. Okay.
So that means it's the first. Well, let's fix this. That means it's still first cover, but it's the 4th run of the book. So,
I'm a little dizzy from shrinking, getting bigger.
So, and then this is the 311 baby for the issue 3, and then
amber is the color of your energy.
Maybe that's what this is. Okay, so now, all right, now I remember what it was. So the 3 is issue 3. That's what issue 3 is. This is the first cover. This is also the first run. So that's what that means. Now I remember. So this is it's number 1, cover number 1, run number 4. That's how it goes.
Excellent.
So my number 4 here, it's 411, and then my issue number 2 is 213. So I still need a run number 1 of issue number 2. So that my OCD butt can get all the comics, and that's just the way I roll, unfortunately.
Yeah, I understand. Nobody understands it better than I do. Trust me.
So, but Adam, that's pretty much all I got going right now. So,
you want to hold up the old Lobo there?
Wait a second. I have to remember where I put him. Moment, please.
All right. We are waiting. I used to beg my mom when I was a kid to let me go ice skating out on the Great Lakes or Lake St. Clair. She used to tell me, wait till it gets warmer.
That's like my dad used to say, hey, go play in the street and stay off the yellow lines. Found it.
All right. My buddy Nick here picked up Lobo for me. That is my latest action figure. I can't wait to have him. He's going to go up with my collection of like Supermen that I have going on right now. I also picked up some action figures from the Heroes toy line just so that I could have them around for customs and stuff like that. Customized an Adam West Bruce Wayne this week. You saw that.
I got the White Knight motorcycle. That should be here soon. How about that?
Yeah. Thanks. I bought another one. Now I got 5.
Well, they had them on sale at Target. So
I know.
$11.99.
You can't pass that up.
Pretty much.
So I'm going to customize mine. I'm going to take it apart. I'm going to make it into a Batgirl cycle.
Nice. So Yeah, I got plans. Grifter's got a ride for when he finally gets here. Hopefully, it's supposed to be summer. We'll see.
Yeah, then there's another thing like that too. Like, hey Nick, customize one of these for me. I want my grifter cycle to look just like yours.
Yeah, I bought 2 Grifters, and I'm gonna kit bash that. So that'll be something we'll post on Instagram. I keep meaning to do that, and I keep forgetting. So to post more of the action figure stuff on our social media. Speaking of which, we are on Facebooks. We are at the Escape Podcast on Facebook, and on Instagram we are at the_Escape_podcast. Not to be confused with the Escape Podcast. So we are just the Escape Podcast. So
yes, we're not in space. We're right here on planet Houston.
Yes,
and,
planet Houston, and that's all I got. I got nothing clever.
What is that? Root beer?
Nope, just water.
Oh.
From my Lion King aluminum thing, because I went a little crazy when we went and saw the Lion King. I bought lots of stuff.
That's right. You saw the Lion King live, didn't you?
We saw the Lion King live. It was great.
That's pretty cool.
So
hey, you got to settle down, man. You can't act like that when the lion gets here. You're getting a lion? For what? To protect my stuff. Why don't you just get a dog? You can get past a dog, but nobody fucks with the king of the jungle. Grandma's boy.
Are you a lion? I don't feel like a lion.
Roar.
So, all right, Adam, let's wrap it up.
Yes, because the population is out of control. So let's wrap it up.
So we're watching. Yes, wrap it up for her protection. So we got Moon Knight coming up next week. We've got Halo. Anything?
I mean, if you end up
finishing, Morbius coming out as well. That's another thing. Morbius reviews are not stellar so far. So
it's a Sony movie. Like, it's not going to be good.
It's a Sony, not Spider-Man movie. So
exactly. I'm sorry, but it's not.
and as hard as Jared Leto tries, God bless him.
Yeah, I mean, the superhero thing or the comic book thing just isn't meant to be. It's meant to be, but not very good. It's not meant to be very good for him.
Not for him.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy. You can't be that pretty and a musician and get to be a superhero, friend.
Yeah, not at the same time. And anybody can put together a really good trailer. I knew this movie was. I'm not surprised. I'm just not surprised.
And it's all downhill after No Way Home right now. I mean, you just can't compete with everything's a letdown after that movie. So.
And to tell you the truth, you don't have a lot of toys to play with in the Spider-Man toy box other than Spider-Man and Venom, really. And you almost don't have Venom because that's a tough one to make work. I don't know how they did it.
Yeah, the whole symbiote thing is that's a tough pill. That's borderline. That's nerdy because that's just straight science fiction.
All I can hope for the Morbius movie is that I at least enjoy my time at the theater.
And that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's all.
Go, I hate to tell people, but go in low. Just have fun. Yeah. Don't compare it to the comic books. Definitely don't compare it to No Way Home. Just enjoy your movie-going experience.
Amen. Now we pray, our Batman, thou art in Gotham. I'm sorry. I stole that from Kevin Smith. I didn't think of it myself.
All right, my friends. Time to shut her down. Any final words?
Don't slap anybody at the Oscars.
Yeah, just talk it out. Don't slap anybody.
Yeah.
Unless they make fun of your wife.
Well, no, that's not what you said earlier.
Oh, it's not that.
Earlier you said get some thicker skin, lady.
Well, I also don't like Jada Pinkett Smith either.
I don't either. She seems like a terrible wife.
Will Smith.
Love him.
You better get a good lawyer. Divorce her.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever she's got on you, man, just come out.
Besides your 2 weird kids.
Yeah.
Who? That's the other thing. What the ones in talks, or the rumor is in talks, be Miles Morales. No, thank you. No, thank you, Jaden Smith.
Well, I mean, what if he's as talented as his father? You know,
He isn't. Have you seen his movies?
wasn't he only in the Karate Kid?
Oh, he's in that stupid other one with Will Smith, and I was like, everybody's like, it's literally just a movie with him and Will Smith, and
Yeah.
it's terrible.
I remember it, but I can't remember what it's called. Yeah.
I'll just keep saying that until I find it. It's terrible.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. Terrible. Terrible.
The young kid that
After Earth.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's got a 4.8 rating and is basically a vehicle for him and his son. And everybody said, that kid sucks.
If they could wait 3 to 5 years, 5 years or so for a Miles Morales movie to go into production, I would pick the little kid in DMZ.
That's it. Sometimes that's the thing. A lot of people are like, oh, why do they always cast the same people for the movies? I was like, because there's only so many decent actors at for a crop of a generation here, and we're running pretty tight here.
Yeah.
This generation of actors aren't great. So.
Yeah. They're no Fiona Apple. If they ain't Fiona Apple, I give her red says.
And on that note, thanks guys so much for watching. Thanks for all the support you guys give us. Like I said, check us out on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. So I think that's about it.
That's about it.
Good night, America.
Make me a shadow.